Hey everybody, you see that? I don't know where my finger is. Ha! See that? And those? Oh, is my septic here?
Welcome back, everybody. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at everyone's favorite topic, poop, specifically my septic system install. After getting a little practice, I started working on digging out the first lateral trench for my chamber pots. Luckily, when I was doing this, when I was putting the bucket down, the teeth to the top of the bucket was about the same depth I needed to go to have my pots in chambers fully covered. So that was great help when I was doing this because I didn't have to hop out every time to do measurements. Now, granted, I only got within a couple inches of where I needed to be, but it was still help. I had a level that I was getting out and checking as I would go. To be honest, the absolute best part of installing your own septic system is hands down getting to run your own excavator. If they knew how much fun I was having, they'd have probably charged me double. After I dug that hole, now it was time to go back in and fine tune it. Got a little crazy some places. Some spots had a little bit of bedrock. I pulled out a little bit more. I figured it'd be easier to take out a little bit extra and put some back in to level it out than not dig out enough and not have the excavator to do the work for me. So as my supervisors were giving me hints and help on how to do this properly, I just kept filling back in slowly but surely, getting it raised back up to where I needed. Once I had it in to where I thought I needed to be, and then I got the old rake out and I kind of fine-tuned it. I know some of you are thinking, oh man, it's just a poop chamber field. You don't need to be that perfect, and you're probably right. But you know what? I didn't know what my county inspector at that point. I hadn't really met him and dealt with him yet, and I didn't know what he was going to be like. So I wanted to go a little bit overboard this first time on the first inspection and let him know what I was all about. And it paid off because he ended up being a real good guy, and he appreciated the work that I put in. So here I'm just going along and looking for beeps and trying to get it all within about half an inch of each other. So yeah, that day I found out I had a hole in my glove and had a nice old blister between my pointer and my thumb. Then it was time to install the chambers. These 2 rows of 15. So they just kind of set in and you hook it on a tab at about a 45-degree angle, and then you just drop the next one on in. I might take a real quick, if you guys have any value, have liked this at all, I sure would appreciate any kind of like, comment, or subscribe. All that kind of fun stuff, it sure would have helped me out. And anyway, thank you very much. We'll get back to the programming. Here I'm just kind of clearing out, making sure that the sides of those tanks or the chambers had a flat surface to go on. Probably wasn't completely necessary, but then again, you know, when you're doing your own thing for the first time and only time, sometimes you go a little bit overboard because you just want to make sure you're getting it right. The individual chambers were pretty light. They were just a little bit big and heavy, kind of awkward to carry. But then you kind of see that little tab, you snap it down in and hook it on and go. And then my big mess up. So as I was doing my digging this tank hole out, I was taking basic measurements, and I miscalculated by a foot or so. And by the time I realized it, I couldn't get the excavator in the angle that I needed to hit the side that I needed to get out, and I didn't want to completely tear out a whole nother side, so I just had to channel my inner John Henry and put a hammer in my hand, and I started digging and just knocking those side rocks out a little bit at a time, and trying to get that thing widened up enough so that I can get in there and drop that tank down, because there wasn't going to be too many chances of dropping it in and out. Didn't have a chance to show you dropping it in, but once I got it in, got it all leveled, just took a couple inches at a time, packed it down and tamped it down in around the sides, building it up. Until I got halfway, fill it with a couple 100 gallons of water to hold it down in. Then it's time to put in the Laterals coming into and out of the tank. Had to drill a little 5-inch hole because there's even though it's a 4-inch pipe, they have a special adapter sleeve that goes into that. And there's that hole, just knocking it out. Put a little. You want to put a little Unca slidey stuff on there because it's kind of tight on that sleeve. Then you take your Uzumahazi, yep, and that's what it looks like. Then just backfill a little bit, and you can see I'm kind of tamping down as I go. You don't want to have a whole bunch of loose, and a little bit more, and tamp it down as you go. You can see that's the top. I'm at the top run of 15 there, and then here's the bottom run of 15 at the bottom with the clean out at the end of the first run. And yeah, just had to make sure you don't want a bunch of rocks right up against the chamber, so I was having to kind of go slow and do a little rock harvesting as I was going. I got some great rocks from a patio out of that, and just tamping down as I go. Main thing, you don't want to collapse the chamber as you're doing this, because then then you got a lot of work to go back in and fix it. So then once those were all taken care of, it was just time to work on my lines to the septic. This is the one going under the drive, so that's my schedule 40, a little bit heavier, it's going down. And this one's going up to connect to the RV pad to let that drain down into the septic. So you can see my supervisors were very interested in the work I was doing that day. I also found out that that PVC solvents and glue and stuff, ooh, let me tell you, it so feels wonderful in cuts. If you're not sure if you have any cuts on your hand, just go get some of that primer and solvent and slather it on, and I'm going to tell you what, you're going to find all your little cuts. But you know what? It's great to do this on a beautiful day. I found out if you did the uphill section and put the collar on it first, and then pushed it all together, hold it together for a couple seconds while the glue quickly bonds and sets, and then you can go about your business. There's that run on up. Yep. All right, folks. Well, it looks like we're coming to the end of this one. I got my septic all put in and done, and it passed inspection. It's close to 100 foot going up to the RV pad, so I put a couple cleanouts in there just to make it easier. It's all about making life easier for you. So, again, you all have a wonderful day, and I hope this finds you blessed. Oh, and here I had to put a couple, because I'm on a slope, I had to put 3 Huzumahazis on the top of the uphill side, and then just 1 on the bottom side. Got that all tamped in. So, anyway, you all take care. Have a great day, and wonder on y'all. For those of you curious, my septic system is the smallest that Colorado will allow. It is 1,000 gallon septic tank in a total of 30 chambers. Now the chambers is dependent on soil type. There might be less than that, but anyway, wonder on y'all.